This is Jordan's Cocktail Hour, and I'm your host, Jordan Sol. This is a show for, about, and by LGBT asylum seekers and refugees in the Netherlands, made by COCLimburg. COC is our national LGBT rights organization, and Cocktail is the name of our project for this very special group of newcomers, who I like to refer to as family. However, anyone else who wants to join us is welcome, so let's get started with our show today. Sadly, we had to take a small break from recording, but after some major adjustments, all due to the latest corona regulations here in the Netherlands, we are back for now. Not only did we change our location, but we also had to leave behind most of our Maastricht team. We're really sorry, guys. We miss you, but we're making the most out of a really crazy situation. Anyway, today, my guest host will be my amiga, Scott. And our guests will be Ninouschka from Impire Oppurtunity Center and Sandro Cortecas from LGBT Asylum Support. We brought both of them back for some really important updates. And last but not least, Sir Buka tells us all about his journey to the Netherlands. Let's get started. Okay, welcome to already the third episode of our podcast. And I want to introduce my co-host for today.
Hi. Good. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm happy to be here. It's an honor to stay here. And yeah, I'm also part of the group. So happy to be here.
We like to have everyone with a different point of views. And since the show is for LGBT asylum seekers and refugees, if you're in the group, you have that. Anyway, we have a few updates. There's a lot happening. First of all, we have had to greatly change our setup for this show because of the corona regulations and rules. So we are now with a very minimal crew of 3 people, and we had to move to Eindhoven, so we didn't have to travel. When lots of things we had to change, but we're here and we're back, so we're really excited about that.
Yeah, doing the best during this pandemic because
everything is really, really difficult.
Yeah, it has been difficult.
But that's all the more reason to do the show. One of the things that happened last week that we were really busy with is the COA, which is the organization that runs the AZC's, which is the centers where everybody lives, implemented a strange rule, which was that every week everybody in an AZC has to, what you guys call stamping.
Yeah, we have to report ourselves in the AZC every week. We have to go there every week. In this case, it's like every Tuesday. And you must just put your finger in the machine and give your ID. But yeah, the situation is very difficult because we are in the middle of a pandemic. And some of us, we don't live in the AZC. We don't stay there all of the time.
Well, we should explain that during the first lockdown, they stopped it because they thought, we all
exactly.
thought
Before and actually in December, the last year, we haven't been there at all. We just have to call and report ourselves that we are okay, we are alive, and we call every time.
Right, well, the point is that not everybody stays to live in the AZC.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of you have places to stay outside of the AZC, and I think in our group more so than the regular group there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of people don't feel safe there in the AZC.
Then I got a call in December, and they say from the beginning of this year, we have to go and stamp again every week to the AZC. I mean, I understand it's their work, but it's also, for me, it's kind of selfish because this pandemic is about everyone in the world. We are all working together to get it over. And yeah, for example, in my case, I have to go every time there, every week, but I don't live there. And I also live with people in the place I stay. So I'm not protecting myself, and I don't protect the people that I live with. And plus, I have to go to the AZC, I have contact with everyone. The first time I've been there, I was close to somebody actually from COA telling me oh no, I have to go because
You have to be quarantined.
Yeah, I have to quarantine. And I'm okay, great.
Yes.
So I really think it's not good for...
It, to me, it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
To bring back this rule in the middle of this lockdown, we now have a curfew. Why would you make people travel from Rotterdam, from Haarlem, from Eindhoven to Maastricht?
Yeah, we have to take the train, we have to take the bus there. We have contact with everyone when it's absolutely not necessary. We can just call, say we are okay. If you don't call, it's the same thing if you don't go.
Well, I wrote a really angry email about it, and I know that other organizations also tried to address this point. But the problem with the COA is that they don't really hear us or listen to us.
No, I mean, as I say, I think it's super selfish because this is about everyone in the world and not about their work.
Right. I think the problem is that the COA sometimes live in their own bubble.
Yeah.
And they are doing a really difficult job, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really hard to take care of all those people, but they live, it becomes a world of its own where the rules are determined in a different way.
Yes.
And then when you look at them from the outside, you kind of go like, why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So, you know, we can use this opportunity to say, COA, get it together. Because
yes.
Absolutely. So for the rest, what else did we want to talk about?
Yeah. I want to ask, how are you doing during this pandemic?
I'm good, you know.
Yes. How do you keep all of this work together? Because it has been a challenger, I guess.
I think it is incredibly difficult for everybody at this point. But I'm lucky enough that already before Corona happened that most of my contact is by WhatsApp and online, and we're super sad that we can't do our meetings and definitely our party. But I'm in close contact with everyone almost every day from the group. We have over 500 people still in our WhatsApp group, and like we can work on this podcast. And we've been really including a lot of people. It was actually quite nice to do those interviews because we were able to see.
It was great.
Everybody.
Yeah, to finally see everyone. Because usually we chat, we talk, but we don't see each other. And at least through a Zoom meeting, we can just have little contact.
It's better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm fine. I'm blessed. I don't want to complain too much. I know people are in much worse places and in much worse situations.
Absolutely.
So I think we should go to our first video interview because actually something happened also while we were on a break from this podcast, and one of our guests that we interviewed became a news story. So let's look at that video first.
Yeah.
And then we will come back and talk about it. For our next interview, we have actually a few extra guests.
Yeah.
We have Sandro for an update on the story that we talked about in our first episode. But now we want to protect the names of the people that are involved. So we're not really going to name their names. But we wanted an update on this story because it actually ended up being in the news. And so Sandro, maybe you can tell us kind of what happened.
Yeah, what happened is the following. Our Ministry of Justice and Safety has their own magazine. It's called Vreemdelingenvisie. So it's the vision, it's the look upon refugees. And it's a magazine being made by the IND, the COA and the DTMV. And in December, I got a message from, but also from the refugees involved, that they were part of this magazine. And I did some research and I was surprised that their full names, their front surname, but also their age and including their country of origin was not only on the magazine, but it was on all websites of these services from our ministry. We did research and we found out that there was no agreement to the editors of publishing their names. And it's also against the Dutch law to come out with full details of refugees who are at that moment also out of procedure. And this happened beginning of December. And what is very strange is that on the 9th of December, they got to hear from the court that their status was not allowed, and they were out of procedure. That was on 9 December. And the day after, on 10 December, the article came out, including they got a letter from the DTMV that they were not longer allowed to stay in the Netherlands and they were being prepared to leave the country. So it's bizarre how all these services were not working together.
So just so we can understand, basically in the middle of their procedure, they were doing this article which went online.
Yeah.
And it showed their full names and their pictures. And the article was painting quite a nice picture of their life in the refugee center, and mentioned nothing about their case.
Correct, but they discussed this with the editors and with the photographer, that one of them, his asylum procedure had already ended, and they were waiting for a court decision. And it is very strange and very unusual that our Dutch authorities responsible for refugees are bringing out full names. I mean, if you have to leave the Netherlands, it is not allowed to come out with all this information. And the country where they come from, they are being seen as a group at risk. So it means that also if you bring this out, the chance that you will get danger in your country of origin is huge.
Right, and I think if I know, they've already had some problems with people finding out about this, right?
Yeah, yeah. What happened is that we made a strong letter to the junior minister, because she is responsible for all these services by the ministry. She didn't react. Finally, we made 4 letters for the junior minister, because there was already a planning that they were going to leave the Netherlands on January 4. And we wanted to prevent this. So another urgent letter followed, and finally we've sent 2 letters extra to the board and directors of the COA, and 1 extra to the directors of the DTMV, because on all the websites, all their names, everything was brought out, and this is totally unacceptable. So what happened, besides our letters, it came also in the press in the Netherlands. They were interviewed anonymous by Hart van Nederland and NOS. And this reached also, including the magazine, because everything was still online, it reached also the media of their country.
Just so that nobody gets the wrong impression, the third person in the interview is one of the guys that we're talking about, but we don't want to put his face on camera now. So I just want to ask you, how are you doing?
I am doing okay. It was a stressful month, but trying to cope right now, trying to just be settled and have some hope that something positive is going to come out of all this controversy now.
Yes, we hope that too. It's really became a really strange situation all of a sudden from the last time that we spoke to you. But we hope that at least in the end, it will have a positive result, and that at least our government will see that they're actually doing something that could be damaging as opposed to helping somebody.
Yeah, we wish you a lot of luck with this process, because we know it's really tough for you. And yeah, the best has to come now.
Yeah.
Hopefully after this tough time.
Thank you.
I'll show you this is the magazine, how it was being published. And what also happened is that the photography was quite unusual. They were thinking that at least their faces would be blurred, but they got full portrait photos even on the cover of the magazine.
Well, Sandro, I also just wonder that even if they thought maybe they informed them, maybe it's not clear for them to foresee what the consequences could be if their faces were on there, or their names, or whatever. You know, it's the government who has to protect them against this kind of thing, not for them to know.
Yeah, what happened is that the junior minister, she reacted on all the letters we sent out, also to the parliament, and she concluded that it was should not have happened, and it is a question how there was given permission for this. But besides this, how this whole how this happened, an article like this with the full names of refugees is just not acceptable.
No.
And so she agreed in this, and now we are waiting. Okay, what will be the result? Because last year we had a similar case, and the refugee got finally also his residence permit. For these two, it means that they have to go back into procedure because they are at the moment totally out of procedure. And we're just waiting now for one extra letter to come, and then they will go back into procedure, and we will also urge the junior minister to give them the permission right away.
What is this minister's name, just so that we understand who we're talking about?
Oh, it is the junior minister, staatssecretaris, and she's called Ankie Broekers-Knol.
Yes, I think I've seen her sing some jazz songs on television once. I'm not sure she is the best at her job.
I have my doubts. I have my doubts about this because this is totally unacceptable what is happening.
It really is.
Yeah, and actually for his case and for the situation he is as a refugee in this country, is like the main matter is like is his security and everything, and it really is not good for him. In the end, I really hope that in his case it will just work out in a good way and it will just turn around in a good way for him.
Yeah, let's hope we can turn a negative into a positive this time.
Yes. Something positive has to come out. At least what we did, we made a complaint at AP, that is the authorities for personal data. We made a complaint because something like this is just not acceptable for our Dutch government to do. And yeah, we're now waiting for their last letter, and then they can go back into procedure. Yep.
Well, then we really, really hope for the best. And for sure, we're going to stay on top of this and follow what happens, because I think this could happen to anybody. And for sure, I've been following these guys for years. And I think it's about time that they have a good outcome of this situation, because making somebody wait this long in such a tense situation, I find it kind of inhumane. And I really hope that they come up with a good solution soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really, Sandro, also, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much for this support.
It was only 7 letters, and I think we are over 100 pages.
Yeah, only 7 letters.
Yes. No, but it's very important in things like this that you get the right support, and that you have to be on top of this to stop this, because there was only 1 week, something more than 1 week left before they were going to set out of the country. And you don't want to have this happening, that people are being sent back and that there might be a chance that they get in more danger in their country. That's just not acceptable.
Yeah. I think if you see what's happening in our government at the moment with the whole crisis and you know, what happened with the tax department, how it seems like it's just one big, huge factory, and that people are getting in major problems because of things that the factory does to them. I think the same thing goes for the IND. It's just a big factory, and people are getting lost in that system. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, this is about personal data, but if we see how still LGBT refugees are being judged, how in court judges always follow the system and the verdicts by the IND, it's the same. And yeah. This year there will be more things happening. So yeah, I can only say for all people who watch this, follow us.
Well, and there's also general elections coming, so you know, pay attention in what party supports what, and make sure that when you vote, that you really think about these kinds of issues, because really it affects people's lives. So anyway, Sandra, we want to thank you. We have to keep our time limited. But we wanted for sure to start with this point in the first show after the other two pilots, because we find it really important, and we really want to support these two guys. We love them and we care about them, and so also we want to wish you good luck, and please keep us updated.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that was Sandro.
Yeah. It was nice to see Sandro after a very long time, actually.
Yes, and the story is so crazy, you know, that I just don't even know what to say about it.
I really think that I'm glad to hear in this case that somebody vulnerable got some help from people from here or whoever helped to have a voice, because probably they will be deported by now if none of that happened.
Yes,
So-
we like the idea that we turned a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
But again, what I think is interesting about these kinds of situations is we have in the Netherlands this whole tax department crisis that we had, which is basically that the tax department is such a big factory and so automated that people got really in trouble financially, and it was really
Yeah.
bad. I think the same goes for the IND, and I think the same goes for the COA. I think these organizations are so big that the personal stories and the really important parts get lost.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's so much going on that they also lost track of it, and I understand. But on the other hand, it's vulnerable people, so it's very important, and I really hope that's gonna work out for them.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think so, but we keep our fingers crossed and we will
Yes.
keep everybody updated on that story. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about. So for the next person that we interviewed, I wanted to talk about Ninouschka. We are really so excited about what she's doing, and since we did our last podcast interview with her, so much has happened. What's a little bit sad, which is that because of the whole corona crisis, even her big plans keep getting interrupted, just like ours.
Yeah.
But we wanted to do a quick update with her to
Yeah.
see what's been happening.
Let's check it out, because I'm part of this group, and I really, guys, check it out, because this is really important for all of us. It's a step. So
Let's
let's
look.
fact check.
All right, for our next segment, I would like to bring back our friend Ninouschka. We would like to hear from her to see how are things going with the school project, what's been happening since we last spoke. And also, we are bringing on one of her students, Eddie, and we'll hear from him in a bit to see how he is enjoying the school and how his experience is going. Hi, Ninouschka.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. I'm fine, thank you. How's everybody?
We're great.
Great. Happy to see you.
Thank you, thank you.
Uh,
Yes, how is things going? Well, with the corona, of course, everything is stopped. Only the online lessons are going through, but we are going to look for a solution for Maastricht, as it say, where we can do something about the internet, and the students can also join online lessons. So yeah, that's in the progress.
Because you are negotiating something with the COA, right? To see if you can actually do the lessons in the AZC.
Yes, that's true. We are trying to do some sessions at the AZC, but still, because we will start with 5 groups, we will still have some locations central Maastricht in, for example, LBG hotels or another meeting point, because in AZC there will only be one group which can attend every time. So
Your biggest groups still are the people who are in the refugee centers but do not yet have their status, correct?
correct. I've got 20 people, 20 students who don't have the status yet, who are in the procedure. But if I'm not mistaken, the AZC will give me a list of people who they think they can join the program and also have the permit. So they can do the intensive course and within 3 months have their A2 Dutch, and then progress with the vocational training and get a job immediately. So that's
Ninouschka, when you go to your classes, would you get a self-certification, or is just more like to just begin with the language?
they start, well, the people who don't have the permit yet, they get the language, and also we want to do field trips, but because of corona we can't do the field trips yet. But we also go to work visits, and also we have to wait with that. So now it's focusing on language. Yeah.
That's really great, because then people can get sort of a head start
Yes.
before
Yeah.
they get their status, and then they go into the regular school system. maybe it's a good time to hear from Eddie, because I think that's what he's doing. Correct?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, hello everybody. My name is Eddie. I'm originally from Iraq, and I believe I was like one of the first students to join like Ninouschka in her new program, and it's all thanks to you, of course, Jordan. You're the one who actually introduced me to her. Honestly, I like the program so much. It's for now we're doing like only the as Miss Ninouschka said, we're only doing the Dutch language classes. I'm quite happy with the progress that we made. Actually, she's a really good person and a very good teacher. We have like our own group, and like she always sends us updates and like quizzes and tests and like the normal classes that we have. For now, we're doing it once a week, and I'm quite happy with the progress that we made. And it's all thanks to her and like her offer.
What's your favorite Dutch word that you learned?
Well, it's quite simple. I have a new favorite right now, but my ex-favorite word is lekker. But now
it's important.
Yeah, now it's geweldig.
Geweldig.
Yeah. So, Eddie, all of the help you're getting from Ninouschka is for free?
For now, yeah. I mean, it's totally for free. I didn't pay nothing, and she provided the books. She provided us with the, like the equipment, like pencils and like rubbers and like everything. Yeah.
I think you mentioned, Ninouschka, that you wanted to get real books for everybody involved. So that's maybe something that we can all work on, trying to help you to achieve that for this group.
Actually, it would be great because, like, it's a quiet, a new program, because like we're only one group right now. But in the future, I see a lot of people will joining, and it's actually it's like just a great use of our time, because we're doing something instead of waiting for our permit and to start school from the start, from zero. Like we're kind of like getting a head start, just like you said, and like learning something, doing something valuable with our time.
That was my idea. It's like you're just sitting around, so why not get started on that?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I can't wait to take them on field trips. I'm really eager to do that. I would like them to take them on the market and show them the real stuff, or go to galleries or to several other places, musea, for example, and show them around and speak the language in that way and learn the language in that way, and also bring them to work visits, for example, go to Stockton or to BAM or to picnic. It doesn't matter where, but so they can integrate really in practical sense also. It's really fun, to do things different than other schools. I would like them to take them and go experience, and that's how things.
We would like to know what inspired you to do that work. What was your inspiration?
I'm used to work with vulnerable people. I worked with dropouts, and they have a lot of baggage and they don't want to go to school, and they got kicked off of school. And I'm a psychotherapist next to this, and I'm not an ordinary student myself. I didn't like school, but I liked to learn. So I was imagining about what would I prefer, how would I like to learn, and how can I give that to my students. And Eddie, for example, and the other students are so eager to learn that they inspire me to get the best out of everything. I just want to give them everything what is possible. For example, also the books, it's far more, it's nicer to work from a real book than from copies, then I think, okay, maybe I should try that one, or and because they are so eager to make their life and build up their life here, so why wouldn't I help them to do that? If I can help them to do that, achieve that, why wouldn't I? Yeah,
of course. I think it's just really amazing, and we like to hear the story behind this really great project. And so I'm really hoping that you can expand it this coming year. I hope that we can get through Corona enough that you can do all those wonderful things that you're talking about. And we wanted to just highlight it again because we really think it's great. And we'll also put the information here below us somewhere so that people can find you, because you have this really great project, especially the part about getting people educated when they're still waiting. But also, I love your approach for the people who have their status and then to get there faster, because really, many people at the moment are wasting a lot of time waiting for the IND for decisions and problems or appeals. It's a disaster. So, let's get them on the road as soon as possible, and that once they get their status, that they can get all of those things really fast, including a job. Really.
Exactly. Yeah, but also the person without a permit, we will take on field trips, because then they can already think about what kind of job they want to do when they have the permit. So we will do the internships, and they can already have a taste about the labor market here. Yes. And the nice thing is that we discussed, as AZC Maastricht and I discussed about what will happen when people get a permit and are transferred to another area in Holland. Then those people can still join the program because we are also in those regions. So they can still attend the program and they don't have to break it off, for example. So now we will...
sorry, I guess that's a kind of a positive thing at the moment, because most things are online. That even if they get moved around, and people aren't being moved around like usual either. So, but it's great that you're expanding and that you can offer that, because that was the biggest challenge that people asked me about, like what happens if they get transferred. But
so it's a great project. Okay, thank you so much.
Our time is up. I just wanted to put you on one more time. I think I feel like I want to put you on every show. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
So you can tell I'm quite happy with the program, and I think like Ms. Ninouschka is a really wonderful person, and she deserves all the love in the world, and she deserves like all the best. Thank you for having me again, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
Well, we completely agree with all of that.
Yeah.
And we'll also keep updated. I can't put you on every single show that I want to, but like we'll do it again in a few episodes, and because everything is changing so fast that probably also things for you will change again and again. So we'll keep updating.
I hope I will have some good news to share with you, and thank you for having me. I'm always glad to be here to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Ninouschka.
Bye-bye.
We love you.
Thank you.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
So that was the interview.
Yeah, it was really nice to see Ninouschka. And Jordan, how did you contact Ninouschka? Like, how did you get in contact with her, and why?
No, it was the other way around. She, one of our group members somewhere in the north, met her. I don't know exactly how. And she told her, you have to talk to this guy in Eindhoven, whose name is Jordan. And so she called me up and she said, can we meet? And to be honest, I think I explained this before, that I didn't really know what she wanted from me exactly, but she was so fun and so exciting that I just said, okay, we meet. And then I told her the idea that I said, I think it's great to focus on our LGBT group, but you're focusing on the people that already have their status. And I would like you to think about a way to include the people that are still in the AZC, so that they can also start their Dutch lessons and their whatever else that she can do. And she did it. She's really pulling it off.
And I have to say, in the all the time I've been here, I have never heard something like that. Like, we all been by the AZC every time, and we never have like sort of lessons or something. I mean, sometimes, but that's really not.
Well, I can tell you, the people that do get lessons are the people that the COA thinks have a chance to get there.
All right.
Yeah.
So
that's
very unpredictable, let's say. But I think it's great, like, to just think about, like, it doesn't matter in which part of your process you are. It's just like about to learn the language, which is very important for all of us here.
Well, and especially now with all the delays with the IND and everybody's just sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, people is waiting years. So why not spend the time learning a new language?
Yes. So thank you, Ninouschka. We
Thanks a
love
lot.
you. So the next person that we talked to is also someone from the group that actually has been a part of us for quite some time. And I actually knew this person before they even came to the Netherlands. So that was also quite an interesting twist on our story. So I want to introduce the video with Buka, who came from Nigeria. And also a lot of people might remember Buka from our parties as the MC. So let's...
Yeah, it's always nice to see positive people.
Yes, and Buka is definitely positive.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yes. Today we have Buka as our guest to interview. Welcome, Buka.
Hi, Buka. How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're really happy that you're like our first interview after our break from taking this podcast. We wanted to highlight many different things on our podcast. So we have so many people from so many different countries and backgrounds. And I wanted to start with the people that I know pretty well. And you're one of the people pretty well and for quite some time. Oh,
Yeah, he's interrupting my glam.
Yeah. He wants to be on camera too.
He wants to be on camera, yeah.
It's okay. So the interesting part with you and me is that we actually already spoke before you even got to the Netherlands.
Indeed.
Yeah, we have a mutual friend and he connected us. He was already here.
Yeah.
And which made it really interesting for me because I was really able to follow your process.
Of course.
Yeah, so maybe you can explain to us what was that process?
Basically, when I talk to people, they always tell me all these stories about how hectic their coming here was. Mine wasn't as hectic, but it wasn't as smooth either. The thing is, while I was in Nigeria, I had like a good job. I was happy when in terms of maybe having a job to do, having stuff, a home and everything, and parents and all that. But at the end of it all, I was very sad because of the fact that the situation I was in, I had to pretend a lot to be something I was not. And it was very uncomfortable for me. And the situation in Nigeria is very bad for LGBTI persons because the society just takes it upon themselves to be hateful, and they can do all sorts of things to you, and you can't even run to anybody, not even the police, not even your parents. So when I had the opportunity to come to the Netherlands through the AIDS conference, that was in 2018, through my organization, which I worked as an outreach worker, which was an LGBTI organization that provided health services for LGBTI persons. So I wrote this an application for the AIDS conference because I needed to come and do like a theater performance about the stereotypical attitude of people towards effeminate men. So that was what I applied with, and I think the organizers of the AIDS conference felt this was a very wonderful presentation, and for that reason they gave me the scholarship to come here. And when I found out that I was coming to the Netherlands, I had all these emotions going on, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what the plan was for me. I didn't even make up my mind yet to stay. So that was when I got I got in contact with Kobe, who I've known for a while on social media, and because I knew he was here as well. And so I asked him, I was like, what is it like? What's the situation like, especially for gay people, and all that. And then, because he also knew how the situation was in Nigeria and how hateful a lot of people are, and towards gay people. So he said, I know just the right person for you. And he was like, I have someone here, and this person is incredible. He's like a father, mother, brothers, everything in general to LGBTI persons in the Netherlands. And if you have questions, if you have concerns, anything you have, you just need to get in touch with this person, because I think he'll be the right person to talk to you about it. So that was how he sent your contact across to me, and we started talking. Yes.
Buka,
I didn't hear that.
Every time like a straight person in Nigeria?
Oh yeah, because the thing about Nigeria is that nobody actually comes out as gay. The thing you have to do is pretend as much as possible to play the parts, to look straight, to act straight, to do everything straight. Some people even go to the extent, like myself, some people went to the extent of, getting makeshift girlfriends,
Yeah.
just to put up this facade that, oh look, I'm just normal like everybody else. So that was a very hectic thing to do, especially if you understand how free and effortless gay people want to be. So it was very hectic. It was very emotionally draining, very sad, very depressing. And even when you do all this, at the end of the day, one way or another, people still find ways of getting across to you. Like we have services like Grinder actually in Nigeria, but the thing about these services is that the police pretend and they go on these sites and then they, you know, pretend to be interested in you and they lure you out to this location and they arrest you. And they're not just arresting you as a person, they arrest you and they tell you, okay, you know what, if you want us to make this situation easier for you, why don't you call 5 of your gay friends? Just call all the gay people, tell them, come meet you here. And imagine if you're in Nigeria and your friend calls you up and says, oh, hi, Buka, I have a flat tire somewhere. Can you come help me or can you come pick me up? And then you're like, oh, let me go help my friend, not knowing that it's an ambush for you to come over to where this person is being held by the police. So they hold you, extort money from you with the, most of the time they don't even want to do charge you to court or anything. They just want to extort as much money from you as possible, disgrace you, tell your parents and your community about you, and just make it a whole lot of fuss. And it's very dangerous. Most people end up, committing suicide or doing a whole lot of things just to get rid of that shame.
I think
Yeah.
I think that I know Nigeria to be one of the worst countries to be LGBT
Indeed.
in,
Indeed.
because the horror stories that I hear from people about what happens when people really get outed or people discover that you're gay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It is awful. And
It's terrible, indeed.
either way, I'm super glad that you made it here and that I was able to see that process, because of course we talked on Facebook
Yes.
for quite some time before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I actually got to meet you when you were at the AIDS conference, which was and I saw you on stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You made this whole process happen, and but then actually you got here, but then the journey only started when you got here, because it still took quite some time before he got.
Exactly. Because sometimes people think that the moment you arrive, then all of a sudden everything becomes rosy. As a matter of fact, it was so terrible for me, mostly because even after I went to, after the AIDS conference and the whole activities of it, and after we spoke and finally decided, made up my mind, and because I also came to the AIDS conference and it was my first time in years to be, immersed in this community of people who were actually like me, because the AIDS conference, although it's a general conference, but as you all know, the LGBTI persons always take over and they make it a thing for us. So I came across a lot of trans people, a lot of lesbians, and all walks of life from different countries. And all the time that we, got to hang out in Amsterdam and, the bars and all that. So I told myself, oh my God, this is actually living for me. All my years living in Nigeria, I think I was just managing to get by daily. But the moment I came here, I discovered I became alive, that this was life for me when, from all the things I got to experience from the AIDS conference. So afterwards, when I went to Tapo, because the conference finished on the 27th of July in 2018, and that was the same day, because I just went straight to the hotel and picked up my stuff and, journeyed, make the trip to Tapo to go register. So after that, I was thinking, oh yeah, this is the biggest part. You have to stay in Tapo, chill there for a bit, and after a couple of days, you get like some interview, and then woo, you become like this fabulous, Dutch resident, and then you can do whatever you want. It was far from what my my imagination could imagine. So I went from Tarapo. After all the processes, I think it took 3 days, and then I was transferred to Wageningen, where I stayed for about 1 year plus. And then from Wageningen, they took me to Budo, from Budo to Hilse. And this whole time, it took about 2 years from 2018, that's up until 2020 in Hilse, before I was given the opportunity to have the interview, which was on the 11th of March. So if you can remember, the 11th of March of 2020 was actually the period when the whole Corona thing was, coming up. So I was very excited that I got to have my interview date before any of this Corona mess became, a lot more serious. But after my first interview on 11th of March, the next day I got a text because I was supposed to go back for. I had the first interview on the 11th of March, had this next day with my lawyer, and then on the 13th was supposed to be the main interview, which I went for. So it was very short, and they said, you know what, we're going to cancel today because we want to continue another day because due to so many activities, we can't finish. So I said, okay. Then I went home, and the next morning I got a text and they said, you know what, your interview has been canceled and due to the Corona concerns, and we don't know when it's going to happen again. So we're going to keep you posted for a new date, a couple of months. What am I saying? A couple of weeks, maybe a week or 2 weeks or something. But the new date ended up being all the way to July. So after 2 years, waiting for the interview, then 11th of March, I got the date, and after the whole thing, they canceled it, and the next time they gave me a new date was on the 9th of July. So that was months and months of waiting as well. So that's not even where the whole thing finished. So after the 9th of July, I went for the interview, and it was quite. It went well as I hoped, because this is a matter of me telling my story and not pretending to be what I'm not, or not pretending to be anybody else. So I told the story as I felt, and afterwards they were like, okay, I think we have everything we need, and you're going to probably, hear from us tomorrow or whenever. So I was like, okay, let's see how that goes. So sadly, that took another month. And from the 9th of July, I had my response. I think that was about the 14th of September, around that, which was very in between those dates. It was so depressing and sad for me, and I couldn't just imagine waiting all this time. So yeah, it wasn't easy.
I think that because what you were saying in the beginning, your journey went pretty smooth, but in the end, the later part was really quite long and complicated and really
indeed all the waiting, the depression, the anxiety, the whole thing was quite sad for me, just waiting. It's not like you're waiting for anything in particular, you're just there waiting, no response from the core, no response from the IND. And my lawyer at some point even gave up. He was like, I don't know what's going on with these people. So if they tell me anything, I tell you. But for now, there's nothing. So we could just keep our fingers crossed and wait. So yeah, that was it.
Loss, I think, is also a thing for you, like to be in a place, new place for you where you actually can be yourself. It also takes a while for you to put it out, right?
Yeah. The thing is, of course, you can be yourself as much as you want to, but then at the back of your mind, there's always this little voice that keeps saying, oh yeah, what if it doesn't go well? What if you end up being rejected? What if, things don't happen the way you plan? And coming here already, I've already given up on Nigeria. I've already told, like, oh yeah, yeah, that's it. I'm here. I'm living my life. I'm being happy. I'm being gay. I'm being free. This kind of thing. So imagine it at the end of the day, you get like a negative response, and then you have to go back. That would have been terrible for me. But I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Well, we are really happy that you are here, and that
Thank
it all
you.
went well in the long run, because it was a long journey we went on with you.
Indeed.
It looks like you're doing really great and you are happy there.
Yeah, well, it's remarkable because you know how some people just wait, and they just stay at the AZCs and they wait and wait and wait. But for me, even while I was in marketing, I already made up my mind. I said, you know what, I'm not going to just stick around here and wait for nothing. I'm in a new country. There's a whole lot of things going on. I need to make it happen. I need to get myself busy one way or another. So at first, in 2019, I joined a modeling agency. So I started going out for photo shoots and runways and doing modeling and stuff. And then I also do a lot of writing because I write for production houses in Nigeria for movie scripts. So I was doing all that, keeping myself busy. Met my now partner. So it's been incredible, and he's a very amazing guy, and so much in love with him. And yeah, we've just been happy. And even afterwards, even after I got the positive from the IND, the core asked me, "Oh, say, what do we do now about housing?" But then I was like, I already like gotten to this position where we are like tying the knot. So there's no need of getting like a separate house when we can just get a place together and build it up to be our own individual taste and stuff like that. So that was what I ended up doing. So I rejected the house from the COA, and we got a place together, and then living happily ever after, I guess.
That's
with the puppy.
I have to say that out
Yeah.
of most people that I know, you really made the most out of those 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Most glamorous.
I can imagine. I just because sitting down, the worst thing of getting a rejection is sitting down all along and just waking up in your room waiting, because that kills you faster than having at some point, even when you get so busy and then they end up rejecting you, then you're like, at least I got a lot of things done. I got to leave a little. So I didn't want a situation whereby I just wake up in the morning, do nothing, just be depressed all day. No, that was not my kind of person. So I didn't want that
it's
at all.
really my advice to most people in this situation is don't sit around waiting, looking at the clock. Try to, make the most.
Invest your time.
Exactly.
And you get the award, for top story.
We are really
Exactly.
happy with it, and you are doing well, and you are made it the best of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Well, all these things would not have been possible without the help of you guys, of course. The inspiration and all the support, especially for LGBTI persons, refugees here. So, I mean, just imagine if people come from their countries and they come into this, this country, and there's no support, there's no community that guides them through. So that would have been demoralizing for many people. So yeah, also the whole working parties and all the effort and commodities we provided for people, it goes a long way to help, of course.
Yeah. We really miss having our event.
Yes, I know.
Our glamour.
Really. All the dressing up and fashion, I miss all that as well.
That's literally the moment for everyone in the ACC.
It's a red.
It's
the Met Gala.
They will all have to perform.
Well, we hope that
in
2021 there will be an opportunity for us to do something like that again. But at least for now, we can connect this way, and we can highlight all your amazing stories. And so I want to really thank you for being our guest today.
Of course, I'm super happy and excited to be here because this period of in time, I just it feels unreal that we are all experiencing this kind of things from 2020 and then almost carrying it over to a new year. It's terrible, but we are all doing our best and hoping for the best. And my advice is just that everybody try as much as possible to keep busy and not let it hold you back. As a matter of fact, I was approached by an organization, Teaching Love Planet. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's an LGBTI organization as well. They started in Nigeria and then they moved here to Utrecht. So they have been doing a lot of stuff. Last year, a couple of years ago, I joined them to the Utrecht Pride and then the Zwolle Pride as well. So recently they approached and said, oh, that we are looking for a new executive director if you're interested in doing that. And I was all limbs jumping into it because I think it would be a very wonderful opportunity for me because it's almost like the same thing I was doing back home in Nigeria. So right now they want to carry over because of all the African experience. So they want to carry over here. And then it's a non-governmental organization, of course. So, but it's just more non-profit. So, but the idea behind this is just to do the same things I love doing and providing, basic health services for LGBTI persons and, mostly migrants. So yeah, it's I just hope it's going to be a wonderful year for everybody else.
I'm sure. I really, it sounds like maybe we have to have you come back sometime and talk about what that's all about.
Yeah, because
that would be very nice. I would love
like a whole other Buka show.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna thank you, and it was so good to see you instead of just
likewise. Good to see you both.
Thank you so much. It was really nice.
Inseparable. It's incredible.
Okay,
nice.
so
thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so that was Buka. It's a really, really funny story how he, got here and how all of that happened, and also how long it ended up taking him to get his status in the end. The first part of the story went really fast, but the waiting here was very, very long.
Yeah.
So, I think it's really nice that we can bring back our people in this show.
Yeah.
Because we miss them and we don't see
And I
them.
think it's very nice to see people who already got a status, has a normal life, and is still keeping contact with the group because it's amazing. I mean, like, we all been there, and yeah, it's nice to keep in contact with that people and see how they build it up.
Yeah, that's kind of the point because I know a lot of people that are watching this are still new in this country, still waiting for everything. So I want to show them that there's hope in this really, really kind of dark period that we're in.
And many of us need so much help.
Yes.
So.
Actually, that kind of is already the end of the show.
Right.
I think it's been a really great experience just to work on this.
Yeah, it has been amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me over.
Yeah.
It's a great honor.
You're welcome.
I have really enjoyed also during this pandemic to do this. Is amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you from the group.
Oh, thank you. I also wanted to say that we have a new thing where we do shout outs at the end of the episode. So if anybody wants to record a shout out, you can just send it to me on WhatsApp and then we'll put it in the show.
Yeah.
So that's it for today.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for watching.
Okay,
We'll
ciao
see you
ciao. Bye.
Hoi iedereen, ik heet Babukar. Ik kom uit Gambia. Ik woon in Tribal AZC. Much love to you all and thank you very much.
Hello everybody, this is Jermaine. I'm so sad I can't join Jordan for this episode of Cocktail Hour, but I did enjoy the comments that you left for us on the YouTube platform and by email. Otherwise, stay safe, stay protected. Hopefully Corona will go down and we'll be able to be together some other time. Bye bye. Mwah.
Big up, this is Buba, Buba from Gambia, but I based in Dranton, Assese. So Jordan, I make this humble video for you, for the love and support you give to us, I say big thanks to you, Jordan, It's natural love from Buba to you and to the rest of the family. So one love, big up yourself, much love, family.
Hi everyone. Welcome to Jordan's Cocktail Hour show. LGBT, we are proud.
Hi members. I'm so happy. This is Hilda from Den Hilda. So happy again, Jordan. Thanks for the opportunity. It has been long. It's a year. I'm missing you. I miss the cocktail fun. I miss the parties. But this is going to be fun. But guys, be safe. Corona is real. Curfew. Yeah, see you. I like it. Cheers. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us today. We hope you will join us again next time, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and share our show with your friends. We really want to thank the COCLimburg team, Peter Reinders, Mika, Roel, my co-host and amiga, Scott, our special guests, Ninouschka, Eddie, Serbuka, and Sandro. An extra special thank you to the COC Eindhoven board and Ivar for helping us out in a difficult moment. Do you have any questions, ideas, or comments, a shout out, or do you want to be on our next episode with a talent or to tell your story? Please let us know. Send us a WhatsApp message at 06111-20990 or send us an email at cocktail@coclimburg.nl. See you next time.